Hey my loves, it's Mark here from Not Defining. I hope you're doing well. So today I would really love for you to come away from this video with a bit better understanding of whether you might be fluid or whether you might have fluid elements to your orientation. Fluidity basically just means, in its common sense, that you can feel attraction to different genders and that it changes in some way. Okay, so that could mean it changes over the course of your life. It could mean that it changes every day or anything in between. So the first thing that I want to say is that technically all of us have fluidity in our attractions, right? Because if we think about attractions, what we're actually talking about is, do I like this person or that person? Or do I like this kind of person or that kind of person? Do I like dark hair, light hair, tall people, short people, broad people, etc.? So actually, it is always quite fluid who we are attracted to. And so everybody has some element of fluidity in their orientation. The way that we talk about sexuality, however, is focused on the gender that we're attracted to. Okay, so we talk about a straight person is attracted to a different gender, a gay person is attracted to the same gender. And so really when we're talking about sexual fluidity, we tend to mean that your attractions to different genders are fluid. But it's important to understand that this is an artificial construct and that actually we are all fluid in what we are attracted to. Okay? So that's the first thing. Second thing is, if you are bisexual or on the bi-multisexual spectrum, then it is more common for you to be fluid than not. Okay? It is actually a minority of bisexual people who just have one set of attractions and that is the same for their whole life. It's much more common for people to change. So they might be into men one day, women the next, or they might have like a masculine feeling month and then they might have a more feminine feeling month, or they might be a lot more fluid. It might change and shift over the course of their life. So that's really common. So if you're a bi person and you're like, oh gosh, the genders I'm attracted to are shifting, you're not alone. It's part of being bisexual. Okay, so if you're bi, it's most likely that you have some fluidity as well. The other thing to say is that anybody can call themselves fluid if you feel that that label fits for you. There's no set kind of degree of fluidity that makes you valid as sexually fluid. For example, you might be 99% set in the genders or the types of people that you're attracted to, but you may have one very small instance of fluidity. That's enough. If it means something to you, if it feels right, then you are fluid. And you can use that term. Similarly, there is no rule about whether the attractions are sexual or romantic. For example, you may be sexually and romantically attracted to men and sexually attracted to women. But the romantic attraction to women feels kind of fluid. It comes and goes. Okay, that is perfectly valid. You can refer to yourself as fluid. Really doesn't matter. By the way, if you would like more help in understanding these things and you would like to connect with other people who experience fluidity, then come and join our Patreon. It's patreon.com/notdefining. You can get 24/7 mentoring from me. You can meet other people and you can join our group chats. I also have an intimate podcast where I go into my personal story in great detail. We would love to see you there. So how do you define whether your attractions are indeed fluid or they are indeed changing? So one of the things that people kind of grapple with is, what am I feeling towards this person, right? So let's say you're a guy and you are attracted to women, but you feel like you might have fluid attractions to men, right? They come and go. So what I would say is, think about your attractions to those men and think about, are they something more than a very close, intimate friendship? Okay? So you can think of your best friends, your most intimate and closest friends. Okay? Guys that you love, that you have a lot of affection for, right? Is it something more than that? Okay? That's a good barometer. And if it is, then it doesn't matter if it's not sexual, it doesn't matter if it's not fully sexual, it doesn't matter if you would act on it, it doesn't matter if it's sexual but not romantic, you don't want to go on a date but you have a kind of fantasy, doesn't matter. If it feels like something more than a close, intimate friendship, then that may be an attraction. And if it's coming and going in a fluid kind of way, well, there you go. It's an element of fluidity. The other thing to remember is that you really don't need to use the word fluid. It's not something that you go, oh, I'm having these feelings, therefore, oh my gosh, I'm fluid, and it's this big thing that means something. It doesn't. Like I said before, we all as human beings have elements of fluidity in the way we connect with other human beings, the way we're attracted. So it's not like, I am fluid, therefore it is an identity that I need to now worry about or come out as. No. It's just a way of explaining yourself. If you feel that that is helpful. If you don't feel that that's helpful, you don't want to identify with that word, you don't need to identify with that word. Okay, so it's really, really free. And one last thing I wanted to mention is that when we talk about fluidity, sometimes people can get a bit worried because we think to ourselves, well, what if I suddenly have a fluid episode and I'm in a relationship, I've got maybe kids, I've got my whole life sorted out, I'm married, I've been one orientation my whole life, and then boom, it suddenly flips. Just to say, that is extremely, extremely rare. Okay, that really, really, really isn't something that you have to worry about. If you are worried about it, or if you are going through something like that, then please reach out. I do one-on-one coaching. I'm specialized in supporting people in this area, so there's loads of support there for you. But just to say that it is the absolute minority of cases where this would ever happen, and normally it's mixed up with trauma, normally it's mixed up with something else which can be worked through and healed so that you can get on with your life. It's really not a case. I don't see people who have a natural orientation and then suddenly change. There's often a lot more to it. So please don't worry about that. Fluidity tends to be something that people experience kind of over the course of their life, and there's bits and bobs, and it kind of goes a bit more naturally. So I hope this has been helpful. Do you have questions? Are you experiencing fluidity? Please let me know in the comments. I always try to answer all of my comments, but if you click the join button at the side of the screen, you will see the options there, and I will be able to answer you straight away with really, really detailed responses and get you all the support and the answers that you need. So thank you so much for listening. If you would like to find out more in general about sexual fluidity, then check out this video, and I will see you very, very soon. Lots of love. Bye for now.